Hello, I am Marcus, and today we're going to talk about D mode and B mode in the ID.3 first, and how it's very different to other electric vehicles. So how do other electric vehicles work? Well, first of all, they've got D mode, and that is when you're driving forward, the car will coast and won't put too much regeneration on. Then you've got B mode. B mode will put more regeneration into the car, so that is when you lift your foot off the accelerator, the car will start slowing down and put energy back into the car. These electric car reviewers, they all want it in strong regeneration, so they put it straight into B mode. They don't even look at D mode and don't even realise how it works. And Volkswagen doesn't explain it very well at all. There's no real information on how the D mode works. So I'm going to explain it to you and show you why it's smart and why it's so much better than using B mode and why it's so much better than D mode in other electric vehicles. So let's just have a look at the dash. So here we have a blue bar. You see that blue bar there? When that blue bar is going up along there, we're actually using energy and we're using power. When we've got the green bar going over there, we're actually regenerating power. Now on the ID.3 first, I've actually seen up to 98 kilowatts of regeneration. So that's very, very good. Here we've got adaptive cruise control. When it's greyed out like this, it's actually turned off. So we're going to keep adaptive cruise control turned off, and we're going to see how well this works without adaptive cruise control turned on. Here we've got the speed. It's probably better if you look at the speed, you'll easily see that. And up here, it's going to tell us if we've got a junction, a roundabout, or speed limit ahead, here and here. So keep an eye out for that. And first of all, I'm going to explain it to you and show it to you in B mode. And here, to start with, we're going to be in comfort mode. Hopefully you can see that. And I will try not to move my head around too much as the GoPro is stuck to my head. So my dealer actually told me she absolutely hated B mode because it tended to brake too much. And I actually agree with her. I don't like B mode at all. I've always got it in this intelligent D mode. But now we're in B mode, so I'm going to show you how it works. Now you see we're going along nicely at 76 kilometers an hour. If I take my foot off the accelerator, we start to slow down, and we slow down a lot. And it doesn't make any sense whatsoever to slow down here. We should be coasting. The problem with the B mode is, if I let my foot off, we start slowing it down. So what I have to do is I have to keep my foot slightly on the accelerator all the time. So it's on the accelerator now, and it's just not comfortable to have my foot on the accelerator all the time in B mode. I mean, you have to, and then, you know, as soon as I take my foot off the accelerator like now, you know, it starts slowing down again. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it in D mode, and we're currently in comfort. So doing 90 kilometers an hour, I let my foot off and we just coast. You see, we're not using any energy and we're not regenerating any energy. So doing 86, 85, my foot's completely off the accelerator. We're slowing down nicely. It's 90 kilometer zone here. And we're just coasting. My foot's still off the accelerator. I'm slowing down a bit, so I'm going to accelerate a bit more now. Accelerate back up to 90 kilometers an hour, and to me that just makes more sense. And in fact, you're using less energy by doing this, because recuperation, you're always going to lose a bit of energy in heat loss and accelerating up again. So again, I just need to put my foot off the accelerator and we're just coasting along nicely. You see, there's no heavy braking or regeneration. This is really great here. So what I'm going to try and do is get closer to the car in front. Now you'll see we're closer to the car in front. Regeneration is actually kicking in drive mode automatically. We're not in adaptive cruise control, but because it can see the car in front, it automatically puts regeneration on. And my foot still hasn't gone on the accelerator, you see. So doing 73. See if we can get back up to 90 to show you this again. So we get close to the car in front, we get up to 90, leave my foot off the accelerator, we're coasting, we're coasting, we're coasting, still foot off the accelerator, still coasting, really slow down though. So we're still coasting nicely behind this car. It's really comfortable because my foot is just resting on the accelerator, but it's not pressing it, really comfortable. And as you can see, we're getting regen now because the car in front's slowing down. You see it's braking, it's slowing down the car in front, and we're getting regen. My foot still hasn't gone on the accelerator, my foot still hasn't gone on the brake. Now I put my foot on the brake, you see, so it's actually intelligently is doing regen based on the car in front. It just makes so much sense. So it regenerates where you need to regenerate, for example when you come up behind a car, but where you don't need to regenerate, you just coast along. And I'm going to show you this in a bit. when we come to roundabouts and junctions, because this also works when you come up to roundabouts or junctions, or when you come up to 90 kilometer zones. Now you see here it's showing us there's a junction, but it's still 90 kilometers, so we just go past the junction now at you know, just under 90 kilometers, and I've put my foot off the accelerator now and it's coasting. So it's coasting now, it's coasting, really comfortable, no need to play with the accelerator, you know, just coasting, it's still coasting. And now it's telling me here's a 50 zone and to take my foot off. So now we're coming up to a 50 zone here. My foot's still off the accelerator, and you see it's regenning on its own, it's regenning on its own. This is doing, my foot's still off the accelerator, it's going down to 50 kilometers an hour for me. So my foot's off the accelerator, it can see there's car stop there, so it's automatically slowing down and using regen. See, absolutely amazing. Really clever, really good, helps me driving. Again, adaptive cruise control is not on, and we're in comfort mode. So here we're at a 50 zone, so we're going along at 50. And what I'm actually going to do in a minute, so we're going along at 50. Now I'm putting my foot off, so we're just coasting. We're coasting along at 49. It's telling me there's a roundabout and to take my foot off. I have. My foot is not on any brake or accelerator, so we're going along and we're coming up to the roundabout. It knows there's a roundabout there. And you see now it's automatically regenning because it sees there's a roundabout there. I'm not putting my foot on the brake or accelerator. We go round the roundabout, still no foot on brake or accelerator. It's doing it all for me. Put my foot down and we just go. The only reason you would use B mode for me is if you're in the city centre where there's a lot of traffic and you really need to be stopping all the time because of traffic. Nowhere else does it make sense. It just doesn't make sense. I think you actually use more energy because coasting is the best way to conserve energy. Here we're going along at 90 kilometers an hour again. It's 90 kilometer zone. So we're going to go along here. I'm going to lift my foot off the accelerator. And you see it's regenning. It's regenning because there's this Volkswagen Beetle in front of us. It's stopping, so it's slowed down. So here we're going along at 70 kilometers an hour. And it's telling us, my foot is off now, it's telling us a roundabout ahead. So now, because it knows there's a roundabout ahead, it is actually regenning for us. So you see it's regenning because of the roundabout. My foot is still off. We're slowing down to roundabout. My foot's still off all pedals. We go around the roundabout. Let's go around the roundabout. My foot's still off all pedals. We're going around nicely around about. My foot's not touched any pedals so far. Now I will put my acceleration down now to get around the roundabout. And you see, that just worked perfectly. Doing 90 kilometers an hour. I'm going to let my foot off the accelerator now. You see it's a 50 zone. It's telling me to get my foot off the accelerator. So that's what I'm doing. And we keep going along. And now it's regenning because it knows we're getting to a 50 zone. The 50 zone is where that town sign starts there. And when we go past the town sign, we're exactly at 50. My foot has been off the accelerator all the time. Now I slightly accelerate now to get back up to 50 kilometers an hour. Leave my foot off. So as you can see, coasting works very well, and it can read junctions, it can read roundabouts, and it can read traffic signs, and it knows when you need to use regen and when you need to coast. Absolutely amazing. And nobody on any of the reviews I have seen has talked about how good this is on the ID.3 first. But this is so easy, it makes driving so comfortable, it's incredible. So let's go back up to 90 kilometers an hour because we can. So let's try this in sports mode. So going along at 77, 79, lift my foot off the accelerator. And in sports mode, it regens automatically. It doesn't do coasting in sports mode. In sports mode, it's quick acceleration, quick deceleration. So even in sports mode, in D, it's like B mode. Again, sports mode, let go. It does quick deceleration, which for me doesn't make any sense here. That's sports mode for you. Let's try in eco mode. So in eco mode, let my foot off. In eco mode, it's actually regenning because we see here, we're coming up to roundabout and it's a 50 zone. So here my foot's still off, still off, still off. It's gone to 50. And when it gets to around 50, it stops regenning. It's gone down to 47, 46. Will it regen more? It regens more when we get close to the roundabout. It's regenning more close to the roundabout. Now I put my foot on the brake, slow down, and we go again. So you see, in eco mode, it works also. It seems to work very similar to comfort mode. I don't know if there's a slight difference, perhaps, but it seems to work exactly the same. So anyway, let's try it again. this is eco mode, so it doesn't work in sports mode, it works in comfort mode. And again, I have to reiterate, I do not have adaptive cruise control on. You can see there, no adaptive cruise control is on. So for me, it's just bizarre why anybody would want to use B mode, just bizarre. Let's just try this at quicker speed in eco mode. So we're going along here at 88, let my foot off, and you see we're just cruising at 88, we're going down a little bit, 86, but you see it's noticed there's a 50 sign coming up, so it's telling me to let my foot off the accelerator. My foot is still off the accelerator. I'll tell you when I put my foot back on the accelerator. Now we're coming up to 50 zone. The 50 zone is because of these houses here. We slow down to 50, look, we slow down to 50. Then we get to 50, it stops recuperation and goes along at 47. Now I put my foot on to accelerate back up to 50, to be careful of these people. That's why it's a 50 zone, because there's cars. And then, when I can go back to 90, which is just here, go back to 90, I put my foot down and we go back to 90 again. Now this is not adaptive cruise control. In adaptive cruise control, what it would have done is, it would have slowed down to 50 kilometers an hour, would have gone through the town at 50 kilometers an hour, and then when it got at the 90 kilometers an hour, it would automatically increase the speed to 90 kilometers an hour. So that's the difference between not having adaptive cruise control on. All it does is slow you down, the drive mode. It doesn't actually speed you up again like it would do in adaptive cruise control. But as you can see, it's very intelligent and very smart. So let's go back up to 90, let my foot off, we're just cruising around here, we're not using any energy and we're not regenerating any energy, and we're just not going nicely down the curve. Now I put my foot back on to get back up to 90, but it's really easy to drive and it's really great. When I take my foot off like now, so we've gone up to 90, just to rest my foot slightly on the accelerator pedal without pressing it and without having to do that thing you do in B mode, where you always have to press the pedal. I actually think you use the pedals a lot less in D mode than the one pedal driving mode of B. Well, it's not quite one pedal on the ID3 first, but definitely is. And it seems so much smoother. The problem is when you lift your foot off B mode, you get like a jerky braking, but I've lifted my foot off now and it's just smooth. It's going down nicely, you know, we're cruising like you would cruise in a petrol car. It's much more natural. And because it's smart, it's absolutely brilliant. I always have to carry D mode. I don't like B mode, but I've never driven in the centre of Lisbon when there's a lot of traffic. Perhaps B mode's good for the centre of Lisbon when there's lots of traffic, but even D mode will work because D mode in Lisbon will know there's traffic ahead of you, will automatically regen. So going downhill now, I just left my foot off again. As you see, you know, because we're going downhill, it's just keeping it the 89 kilometers an hour. Perfect. My foot's still off, foot's still off, foot's still off. It's going down a little bit now because the hill's going. Put my foot back on a bit to get back to 90. Exactly the same as it would work in a petrol car, but then it's much more intelligent than a petrol car to actually do regen. So here, now I've lifted my foot off. So as you see, we're doing, I lift my foot off. As you can see, we're cruising along. Now it's telling me to lift my foot off and it's telling me there's a 50 zone ahead. So this is in eco mode. Let's see if this works in eco mode. So it's still 90, so I've still got my foot off. Still got my foot off, so we're still cruising. We're not regenerating energy. And let's see. Still my foot is off. Still my foot is off. We're nearly at 50 zone. Still 70. So we're going down to 70. My foot is off. As you can see, it's starting to regen now. Regen. We get to the 50, and now we're doing exactly 50. Now it's telling me there's a roundabout ahead, so it's regenning again, regenning. And we get to the roundabout. Just apply the brake slightly now, and then accelerate to go around the roundabout. So as you can see, it's extremely smart. It works very well in comfort and eco mode. So much better than the B mode. It's absolutely amazing, fantastic. Absolutely love this part of the car. It wasn't advertised at all by Volkswagen. It's just absolutely brilliant. And for me, it's one of the best things about the car. Although when I go on a long trip, normally I'm in adaptive cruise control, so it does all of that anyway for me. But this is what I wanted to show you in D mode and B mode, because I've had some discussions with people on the internet about D mode, and there's been some confusion around it. And I hope I've cleared up any confusion, and I hope I've shown you how D mode is absolutely brilliant in the ID3 first, and is better than any other electric vehicle. Thank you for watching this episode of EV Journey. I'm really trying hard to give you content that's different from what other people are doing. So please click subscribe below if you want to know about more about the ID3 first, about how easy it is for me to travel around Portugal in the ID.3 first, and if it's possible to swap your petrol car with an electric vehicle, specifically the ID.3 first. Thank you again for watching. Bye.